Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 263. We see that Tesla is the automaker with the strongest financial health on the planet. And the new refreshed Model Y is officially out with more models than just the launch edition. And Figure has just released a new video of their humanoid robots working together. And Toyota's EV struggles are exposed with hydrogen flop and only 1% BEVs. And Xiaomi is putting the hurt on the Germans as they are now coming out with what might be a Taycan killer. And GM has lost nearly 70% of their revenue in China. And we have some great feedback on the latest full self-driving update 13.2.8. And the Model Y is apparently now too quiet. And Mercedes says the future of their EVs is going to look more like gas cars. All of this and much more in today's news show. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Alexandra showed that Tesla is the automaker with the strongest financial health on the planet. Alexandra made an update on the rating we haven't talked about in a long time, but as she wrote, updated financial strength table Q4 2024. Financial strength is important relative to other mega caps and car manufacturers, and Tesla's financial strength is just outstanding. Best of all in cash to debt ratio, second best debt to equity ratio, and the ultimate C-score. Of course, the best ultimate C-score of any car manufacturer, but Nvidia does have a better ultimate C-score than Tesla. And if you don't remember, ultimate C-score is about how likely you are to go bankrupt. And the third best in debt to revenue ratio, and the only company who is a top performer in all categories is Tesla. But both Moody's and S&P Global have them rated as the third last on their ranking list. This makes absolutely no sense and just seems very corrupt. How can you trust the rating systems where the best performing in financials is the third lowest ranked? Well, Alexandra was asked if Moody's and S&P Global had ever explained why Tesla's ranking was different from other companies. And as she wrote, no, Tesla is not paying, equals they are not moving. In my world, this is called corruption. Yes, I couldn't agree more with Tesla Boomer Mama. But anyway, there is a reason why we don't really talk so much about this ranking. But nice to see on this chart here that Tesla's financial strength is the best of any company, no matter what kind of ranking they want to give them. Funny how so many people still try to tell me that Tesla is in trouble because their gross margin has dropped. Yes, but even with their lower margins, they are still the most financially strong company on this ranking list in Q4 2024. Tesla is just so well run. People that try to tell you otherwise don't know what they're talking about or are just trying to make Tesla look bad by lying to you. She was asked about BYD, but they are not on her list. But she quickly made the numbers, and as you can see, they would have had 2 light orange boxes, 2 light green boxes, and only 1 dark green box. Whereas Tesla is dark green in all boxes. So even though they are Tesla's closest competitor in terms of BEV sold, they are not as financially strong as Tesla is, not even close. And if you have followed me for a while, you know I'm big on health. Have been a top 5 free diver in the world, kind of demands it. I have always eaten clean and trained hard, so supplements never really did anything for me. That changed a couple of years ago when I kept hearing about AG1 from people that I trust. When I started taking it 2 to 3 years back, I actually felt a boost, more energy all day and no evening crash. Even with a solid diet, AG1 packs the stuff that makes a difference. AG1 isn't just another green powder, it's a daily drink that mixes a multivitamin, probiotic and superfood into one scoop. 75 vitamins, minerals and whole food ingredients to support your brain, gut and immunity. No matter if you're on keto, vegan, carnivore, whatever your style is, it's a nutritional insurance in a glass. Third-party studies have shown that AG1 doubles friendly gut bacteria and the body absorbs the vitamin 4 times better than a vitamin pill. And it is NSF certified for sport. NSF stands for National Sanitation Foundation, a third-party organization that tests and certifies products for quality, safety and performance. This means it has been rigorously tested for purity, ensuring it is free of banned substance and containment, crucial for athletes and anyone prioritizing clean supplements. Hands down the best option out there. I am stoked that AG1 has become a sponsor of Best in Tesla. It is more than just a habit, it's a health investment. Try it out and feel the difference. Join me and the millions others that swear by it. Check it out by using my link down below or scan the QR code on the screen to get your starter kit today, which include 5 travel packs, a year supply of vitamin D and K2, and a container and a shaker bottle. And a big thanks to AG1 for sponsoring this video. The new refreshed Model Y is now officially out with more models than just the launch edition. And it's looking good. The versions that will be available first are the rear-wheel drive and the long-range rear-wheel drive and the long-range all-wheel drive. So the performance will come later, just as we saw with the refreshed Model 3. And it was 6 months before we saw the performance version of the refreshed Model 3 from when Tesla launched the first models of the refreshed Model 3 that was launched in October 2023. And then the performance version came out in April 2024. So we should expect the performance version of the new Model Y coming out this summer, maybe after the launch of the 2 more affordable models. But we do see that the range are pretty much as I predicted in my review video of the Model Y. We would get over 600 kilometers of range with the rear-wheel drive long-range version, maybe 620, and we ended up with 622 kilometers of WLTP. So now the one with the shortest range is 500 kilometers WLTP, so not bad. Tesla do not do what so many of the other legacy automakers do to get a lower starting price, cheapening the car so it basically not become worth buying, and you will end up buying one of the more expensive ones. But someone like Volkswagen gets to make a nice low front price on their website, but their cheapest model only gets 362 kilometers of range. And get this, it can only charge with 50 kilowatts. Are you kidding me? How can they even get themselves to offer a car like that in 2025? 362 kilometers, but only 50 kilowatts of charging speed. I mean, the first Model S that came out in 2012 could charge with 90 kilowatts, and they increased that to 120 kilowatts in 2013. And here, 12 years later, Volkswagen thinks it's okay to come out with an EV that is not even that affordable, that only charges with 50 kilowatt. This is straight up embarrassing. And that car is also just a stripped down version of anything else. You won't have adaptive cruise control or lane assist or navigation or keyless features or anything. You can of course pay extra for all of that, whereas the Tesla rear-wheel drive is not much more expensive, but you get all of Tesla's great software and safety assist feature, navigation and all that included in the price. Tesla just doesn't make these useless EVs to try to get a lower starting price. This is really a big difference. When buying a Tesla, you know exactly what the price is and what is included. And there isn't like 4 pages of add-ons to buy to the car, just like there is with the ID.4. And Tesla doesn't make a crappy version. This is also something I hear from so many people that I talk to, that yeah, but ID.4 is much cheaper. No, not really. Only if you want the much worse car. Because if you buy the best Volkswagen has to offer with the ID.4, you will still get less than with your Tesla. And it even has a much higher price than the Tesla refreshed Model Y. And even the GTX version is not faster in 0 to 60 time than Tesla's long-range version of the Model Y. So if people really do their research about what you get we come back to what I have been saying for so many years, and it continues to be true today. With a Tesla, you just get most value for your money. It's hard to even compare the new refreshed Model Y to the ID4, because Tesla's refreshed Model Y is just so much better in every single way you look at it. But they are at the same price point. So I think the best selling car in the world once again is going to be the Tesla Model Y, because the car that just became so much better than the old version in every single way possible, but the price have stayed the same. And the old version that they still have in inventory, you can now get at a discounted rate about $4,000 to $6,000 cheaper. So if you don't care about the latest and the greatest, you can have the car that was the best selling car in the world in 2 years in a row with a huge discount. And that car is still better than most other rivals at that price point. But the deliveries are starting of the new refreshed Model Y, and if you order now the long-range all-wheel drive, you can get that already in March. So that is the most expensive version you can get right now, but the rear-wheel versions are expected to be delivered in May and June. So let the deliveries and ramp-up begin. Figure just released a new video of their humanoid robots collaborating on tasks autonomously.
Okay, I'd like to try something new. Even though this is the very first time that you've ever seen these items, I'd like you to use your new Helix AI and try to reason through where you think they belong in the scene, and then work together to put them away. Does that sound good?
Figure explained their Helix, the first vision language action model to direct control an entire humanoid upper body from natural language. Unlike earlier robot systems, Helix is capable of generating long horizons, collaborative, dexterous manipulation on the fly without any task-specific demonstrations or extensive manual programming. Helix displays strong object generalization, being able to pick up thousands of novel household items with various shapes, size, colors, and material properties never encountered before in training, simply by asking in natural language. This represents a transformative step forward in how Figure scales humanoid robots' behavior, one that they believe will be pivotal as their robots increasingly assist in everyday home environments. Figure has built Helix entirely in-house and end-to-end, so this is why they stopped partnering with OpenAI. Helix uses a single set of neural network weight to learn all behaviors. As they wrote, we find that by prompting the robot, we can pick up virtually any object. When asked to pick up the desert item, Helix identified the toy cactus, choosing the nearest hand and execute precise motor commands to grab it securely. So this seems very impressive to me. I really like that they are able to collaborate between the two robots as well, which was very cool to see. I know that every time I mention Figure, people are quick to say they are fraud, but their technology looks quite legit. And now they have even launched their first technical report, so now we can learn more in details about what is going on, so that's very cool. But even though I think their tech is very impressive, what Figure AI is missing is what someone like Tesla has, and that is experience in manufacturing at scale, which includes controlling complex supply chains. So, as Elon has said many times before, prototypes are easy, production is hard, and this will be very capital expensive to scale up humanoid robots in production to millions. So we still need to see how fast Figure can learn all of that. So far, they are just some nerds with some very cool robots, but can they produce this at scale will be the real test. But the robot itself looks very promising, if you ask me. Toyota has shown their numbers for 2024, and they really need to get a move on if they should have any chance of being part of the future car market. Toyota and Lexus sold a total of 139,000 BEVs globally in 2024. And that might not sound like a lot, but that is actually up 34.5% compared to 2023. So yes, they have not been selling a lot of BEVs. But they did also sell 1,778 fossil fuel cells, so hydrogen cars, down 55.8%. I mean, does Toyota just like wasting money and making a fool of themselves? I mean, 1,778 hydrogen cars in a whole year. 10 years after they released the first hydrogen car to the world. Talk about a slow ramp. When will they just admit that hydrogen cars will never work? The consumer has spoken a long time ago. They are not buying your hydrogen cars. But Toyota just keep digging their hydrogen hole bigger and bigger. So Toyota, if you don't get the message when you only sell less than 2,000 units a year, and that is even cutting the numbers from last year in half, well, I would like to say on behalf of the people of this planet, stop wasting your time and money on this technology. It will never work for cars. It's the fuel for rockets, not cars. And Toyota just sold over 10 million cars totally. So BEVs made up 1%, 1.38% to be exact. So, dear Toyota, if you want to be part of the future car market, that is clearly BEVs, you need to move. There is basically no place on the planet Earth that still only sells 1% BEVs. Not even in the US. The US and Europe and China, that represent 80% of the car market, have an order of magnitude higher BEV market share than what you are producing. And nobody wants hydrogen cars. Your very huge ship will sink incredibly fast if you don't use all your effort to make this shift to BEVs. I know back in March 2023, 2 years ago, Toyota called Tesla's Model Y a work of art. And in April 2023, Koichi Sato took over from Akio Toyoda, and Sandy Munro said that now we will see Toyota change extremely fast. But I had to disagree with Sandy Munro on this one at the time, even though he was the expert, because I just couldn't see how this one man should be able to change this huge ship and all of its culture in time to save Toyota from becoming the new Nokia. And here we are 2 years later, and Toyota has sold less than 150 BEVs in a year, and are still clinging to their stupid hydrogen cars, wasting time they don't have, as the world is shifting to BEVs and Toyota is simply not keeping up. And it will accelerate even faster in 2025, as Europe has new stricter emission targets. And we don't want your stupid hybrids either. Just look at my country of Denmark, where we are seeing hybrids are already dead here, just like we saw in Norway. And Toyota is already 68% plug-in hybrids here in Europe. So it will be very interesting to see what they will do in 2025, as not many left that still want to buy their stupid hybrids car. That time has come and passed. I know Toyota is just waiting until the new EV platform is ready, as they can't earn money on the current one. But that is another 1 to 2 years out in the future before we will see them on the street. That is a lifetime in the EV world, and China will be lost to them by then. But I do understand why they want to wait, as Tesla's Tao Lin said back in 2023 that Giga Casting reduced manufacturing time from 1 to 2 hours to 3 to 5 minutes. And that is what Toyota is trying to copy from Tesla, so I get it. But they simply started too late. They don't have the time to wait. So I'm afraid there is no longer time to catch up. But we will see if they, by some miracle, can turn this Titanic around. Because the competition is heating up, and one of the new entries that I have said we should keep an eye on is coming out with their newest beast that has already embarrassed Porsche. One of the new EV makers that only started in March last year, that only have one model available, that basically already sells as many EVs as Mercedes does, is Xiaomi. And they are just about to push the accelerator, because in March they will come out with the car I have talked about before, the SU7 Ultra. So still just one model, the SU7, but just the performance version. And it is a beast and cost a fraction of the Porsche Taycan. But it will beat it around a racetrack. The Xiaomi SU7 Ultra prototype have already beaten Porsche Taycan Turbo S GT around the Nürburgring. This makes the SU7 Ultra the fastest four-door car to lap the Nürburgring at that time, shaving roughly 20 seconds off Porsche's benchmark. Ouch! And that is coming out now. So we know Porsche had a rough year in 2024 in China, dropping sales by 30% and EV dropped by 50%. But I think they will continue to drop this year, as the SU7 Ultra is now coming for Porsche in China. So hold on, fellas, because this race is about to heat up. And it's not just me saying that SU7 is a car to keep an eye on. Ford CEO Jim Farley said back in October of last year in an interview he did with Fully Charged that Xiaomi is a juggernaut and the SU7 was an amazing car and he was driving it.
It's like everyone's talking about the Apple car, but the Xiaomi car,
which now exists and is on the road.
Which now exists.
Tens of thousands.
And it's fantastic. They sell 10,000, 20,000 a month. They're sold out for 6 months.
Wow.
You know, that is an industry juggernaut and a consumer brand that is much stronger than car companies. I don't like talking about the competition so much, but I drive the Xiaomi. We flew one from Shanghai to Chicago, and I've been driving it for 6 months now, and I don't want to give it up.
Right. Wow. That's extraordinary thing to say, isn't it?
So Jim Farley, a true car guy, thinks that SU7 is so good he doesn't want to give it up. Please let that one sink in. A CEO of a competing company says that your product is so good he doesn't want to give it up. People still talk a lot about Xpeng and Neo, and they also make nice electric vehicles, but they are about to be overtaken in 2025 by Xiaomi, I think, as their cars have been approved by Ford CEO himself, who knows that their days in China are numbered. Ford only sold 11 of their Chinese version of the Ford Mark-E in China in January. 11. Tesla's Model Y was the second best-selling SUV of all drivetrains in China in January, with over 25,000 units, and Ford sold 11. Yes, it is still not Tesla that is having demand problem in China, but that is the poor legacy automakers. That is not just having trouble, they are simply being kicked out of the country. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. So it is not only the Germans and Ford that are struggling in China. GM has lost nearly 70% of their revenue in China adjusted for inflation, as AJ wrote. So now General Motors is shutting down a factory in China. The first step of getting out of China completely, in my opinion. And that almost 70% lost in revenue has happened over just 7 years. It will only take another few years for China to completely have pushed them out of the Chinese market. And what ordered 40 Tesla semi-truck, the first 2 have already been delivered. As the CEO of BEVs said, Tesla Semi is the only truck in the market that can deliver 500 miles on a single charge, with superb energy efficiency and fast charging. His company covers up to 550 miles per day on certain routes in California. BEV not only operate a fleet of truck, it also specializes in truck charging stations with a growing network of charging stations in California. The CEO emphasizes that this company has been future-proofing all our charging depots. The switch from CCS to MCS future-proofed to enable the transition from CCS to megawatt charging via MCS. Our collaboration with Tesla is another major milestone as we expand our network to electrify freight on more routes throughout California and beyond. And JC wrote on X, time-lapse of my first drive with Tesla's full self-driving supervised version 13.2.8. Zero intervention, smooth as silk, and as confident as a hot rod. And in the video, it does park itself into a charging stall and all kind of good stuff, so just looks very, very good. And Zach also shared a picture of his Cybertruck with the new update and wrote, full self-driving version 13.2.8 just drove me back home from Orange County. With zero disengagement yet again. Absolutely excellent performance across 43 miles or 50 minutes on the road. Really awesome to get into the truck after a long day and have it drive you home. Yes, even supervised, this feature is just amazing. I would love to have this in my car here in Europe. But anyway, the awesome progress of version 13 seems to continue with every iteration. And Rivian has come out with their new 2025 guidance, and I think they have some problems. As Jeff here, who owns a Rivian, wrote on X, do you see the problem? Yes, Rivian is simply not growing. If they hit their guidance this year, they will have stayed flat for 3 years in a row. For a company that desperately needs to grow in volume to get to economy of scale, as they are still losing billions of dollars every year, and expect to lose a couple of billions again in 2025. But even though they came out with their R1S in December 2021, they have not been able to ramp up to more than 50,000 units a year with their two vehicles, and don't expect that to get better in 2025. So I hope they can stay afloat until they are ready with their more affordable models that they have in the pipeline. And now you can buy a Tesla Mega Pack for your phone and other devices. A power bank that packs quite a punch. Available now in Tesla's store. And the new refreshed Model 3 is apparently so quiet. A reviewer of the car wrote it is eerily quiet in the cabin, and Lars tuned in and wrote, "Shoot, we made the car too quiet and now you hear the motor." We're on it. So that is nice to hear that the Tesla Model Y are really nice and quiet. But maybe Tesla can take some of the noise from the outside and put into the car through the speakers if an emergency vehicle approaches, because it might be too quiet to hear them from afar. And Elon just keeps helping everywhere he can, as Boeing is getting help from Elon Musk to get through the requirements of the long-delayed Air Force One program. Boeing CEO Kelly Albert said, "Elon Musk is actually helping us a lot in working through the requirements, so that we can move faster and get the president those airplanes delivered." Elon really seems to have become the new tech supporter of America. And XAI just released Grok 3, as I have shown before, but it seems like people really like it, as the Grok AI app has shot to the #1 spot worldwide, topping charts from the US to the UK to Europe. Very impressive. And Tesla Manufacturing made a nice video from the Berlin factory about the last legacy Model Y rolling off the line. And hello to the new one. Incredible work from the entire Tesla team. Very nice, and yes, here's to the future.
And here's looking to the future.
And the German media is hating harder than ever on Tesla, with hit pieces like this shared by Stecker Auto. Pure horror. Tesla on a crash course. Tesla has gambled away its gigantic technological lead in many areas. The stock market is massively overestimating Elon Musk's company. Of all things, the electric disruptor could end up as the Nokia of the car industry. Let's save this article and see how well that one will age, as we have seen headlines like this about Tesla for about a decade, and none of them have aged well. Tesla is still the only automaker building BEVs in Germany making profits. If that is not the most important lead of them all, I don't know what is. And the new Model Y is just so much better, and the German OEMs haven't even caught up with the old one yet. Tesla still has a huge lead and is only widening, not shrinking, as this article would like you to think. But a German OEM that is actually struggling, and I don't mean Audi, which sales dropped off a cliff last year. No, Mercedes I just talked about in my Overflow news show during this week, which was down basically on all metrics but expect to fall even more in 2025. But now Mercedes has found out why no one really wants their EVs. As they wrote in this article, Mercedes says the future EV will look more like a gas car, after heavy criticism of their current EV design and declining sales. Oh my God. So Mercedes, just like Fisker, think that the design of the car is why they don't sell enough EVs. No, Mercedes, you are not really offering much more in your EV that you can't get from any other brand, but you still take a very premium price for your cars. People don't want that old school luxury if it's not complemented by great high tech in the car with great software that has become the new luxury. And here people can buy not luxury car but just premium cars that get better software and high tech in their cars. That is your problem. Making them look like ICE cars will not change anything other than make you look incompetent. And as AJ also shared on X, Mercedes EQE SUV, so the direct competitor to the Tesla Model Y, has been on the Chinese market for 20 months and saw a total of 13,620 registrations. Over the same period, Tesla saw 810,000 Model Y's registrations, or 59 times more. I like to point out that both vehicles are being made in China. The average Model Y is about $12,000 cheaper, but not sure that explains the 59 times difference. No, exactly. But Mercedes, the Tesla Model Y, does not look like a nice car, and that is why it sells so well. They really seem to have completely lost their ways. And Omar shared one of the more overlooked features in your Tesla that I also use, but I don't have Full Self-Driving version 13, but when you add this feature together with Full Self-Driving, it just makes a lot of sense, as he wrote. My Tesla syncs with my iPhone calendar so that it knows where I need to go next. I just get into my car, tap the blue button, and it takes me wherever I need to go. I often don't even enter the address. It's so cool. Yep, the future is now. And SpaceX is currently targeting February 26 for its 8th Starship test flight, according to a new FAA advisory. Can't wait for that one. Excitement is always guaranteed. And I did show the Cybertruck crash test video in my Overflow News show this week, but I thought I would share this post about it from Luca. And as he wrote, this video shows Tesla's gigacastings are a fundamental component of its safety architecture. Although nearly every Chinese OEM is adopting gigacastings, none are utilizing front gigacasting in the same way Tesla does. And that's a hard fact from someone, me, who knows what every single Chinese OEM is doing with their casting technology. Nice. And China signaling a shift as she embraces private sector amid economic struggles. She met with business leaders, including Alibaba's Jack Ma, in a rare move signaling Beijing's pivot towards supporting private enterprises. After years of crackdowns, China is now leaning on tech, AI, and electric vehicle companies to revive its struggling economy. Western firms, however, continue to scale back operations in China amid rising US-China tensions. Major corporations are diversifying supply chain, with some adopting an everything-but-China strategy. And if you're wondering how China can build solar farms so fast that they are already at their 2030 target today, maybe because they are getting help by drones. Just look at this video where we can see their drones working, and they can transport about 1 to 5 tons per day, filling the gap in transportation labor. Crazy. And Dodge continues to find a lot of shady payments from the government to the media outlets, like AJ wrote on X. Wow, Reuters was paid off directly by Biden's administration. This explained in no uncertain terms the constant FUD coming out of Reuters against Elon and Tesla. Yeah, that would explain a lot. And because I didn't have the sound on in my Overflow News show, let's just try it one more time. Fox News talking about Doge and Elon Musk.
Doge wants access to IRS data, Social Security records, and the Treasury's payment system. Elon Musk is searching up and down the federal bureaucracy. He's looking for fraud and waste. There's a lot of opposition to this. There are privacy and security concerns. Michelle King, the acting Social Security Commissioner, stepped down today. Before that, senior Treasury official David Liebrecht retired after clashing with the Doge people. Countless lawsuits have been filed, but, this begs the question. What has Musk found out so far? Okay, look at this. Over 15 million people are on the Social Security rolls, aged between 110 and 159. And nearly 3,000 are listed aged between 200 and 360. It's laughable, isn't it? Obviously, hardly any of these people are alive. A ruling 10 years ago stopped checks going to anyone over 115. But clearly, the government's bookkeeping is an absolute shambles, which opens the door to waste and fraud. We would have known this if it weren't for the Doge guys. Why does anyone object to us finding out? Then there is the $4.7 trillion worth of Treasury payments that are, quote, untraceable. Musk found that there was no tracking code on the checks that went out, so nobody knows who got the money. No wonder there is serious opposition to Musk burrowing into the computer system. These are young, brilliant engineers. Who else is going to dive into the government's money pit? My sense is that voters want to know where their money's been going, and Musk is the guy to find out. There are going to be more revelations the more he digs in. His opponents are playing defense, which begs another question. What are they hiding?
And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest supporters of this channel. My new YouTube member, Chris Derry. Thank you so much. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. We all know that Tesla's acceleration is happiness on tap, but not everyone has experienced it just yet.
I don't want to go full speed. Yes, you do.
Right.
That's
You're
what
gonna
we're
go
doing.
fast.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Right?
Full speed ahead.
Oh my gosh! I just saw Jesus. What does that do to your soul? I just saw Jesus. My brain hit my skull.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Holy shit! You're gonna have to do a still shot of that.
That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button so you can help this channel grow. And maybe that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheet also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.